Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is a request for my good friend Efree. Hope you're doing well, man. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, this is for another topic versus video, The Crow versus Spawn. The Crow from 94, Spawn from 97. Easily The Crow. That's the short answer. Spawn, I've never been a big fan of the movie. I know a bit of the comic book. The HBO animated series is better, voiced by Chief David. But I was never much of a fan of the 97 Spawn film. I mean, when you compare the two, The Crow has better action sequences. Is now glorified with CGI, especially CGI that does not hold up a lot, like in the 97 film. The villains are more sinister. The soundtrack and score are more memorable. Spawn at times does feel corny. I never thought The Crow felt corny. The Crow, I mean, really the only thing is I'm sad that because the film got made and people did not know what they were doing, Brandon Lee is gone. And while I do like The Crow and I think it's a damn good movie, it's just hard for me to watch because I know during the making of this film, someone fucked up the gun and didn't do their job right, and Brandon Lee died. I know that's not fair to the film, it's just, that's always the reminder in my head while watching it. That's why I prefer Showdown Low Tokyo more, that's why I prefer Rapid Fire more in terms of Brandon Lee films, but I do think The Crow is a damn good movie. How would I describe it in terms of superhero movies? Or comic book films, I should say. If I compare it to Batman, The Crow is more like Batman 89. Spawn is more like Batman Forever. That's really the way I would put it. Where it's not the worst movie I've seen, but it feels a lot more cornier. It doesn't, even the R-rated cut of Spawn really doesn't feel R-rated, at least to me. And yeah, I really like Batman 89, really like The Crow. Batman Forever hasn't held up that much, and Spawn, like I said, never liked. But you look at The Crow, you look at, I don't mind Michael Jai White in Spawn, but Brandon Lee, that would have been the film that made him a movie star, and you could tell, with the emotions much more genuinely put into that performance. I do think The Crow is a better written movie compared to Spawn. He just, that would have made him a star. You know, he had films that were good. That would have been his breakout role. You just tell that the camera loved the guy when he turns and is like, is that gasoline I smell? And well-staged action set pieces. Him standing up and shooting with all the rings out of the shotgun and the whole thing blowing up right in front of him. That whole bit where he's got the guns and it's a bit of a John Woo scene, shooting all these bad guys and using a bit of his martial arts by shooting all these bad guys. And it feels more memorable compared to the action scenes in Spawn, where there's a bit where Spawn, does a flip and is shooting. It doesn't even look like he's aiming at anything. It's just, pull the trigger and hopefully it hits something. And thankfully for him, it does. Or you get that whole CGI and hell finale that just looks very bad in today's age in terms of graphics. That's why, it was hard for, I know CGI was such a new thing, let's go use it, but CGI is like the first thing that date poorly compared to real practical stuff. Spawn is a perfect example. I remember it was advertised as the special effects movie of the year, or special effects event of the year. Yeah, they don't look as special nowadays compared to how I guess in 1997. So it's definitely a film that has not dated well. While The Crow, you can still watch and still enjoy it. The gloomy atmosphere, the opening shots of the crow flying over the city, how desolate the, not desolate, but how in turmoil the city is. The bad guys felt more sinister. I mean, the what they did to the poor woman and killed her and killed him. You know, fire it up, fire it up. Drug addicts and yeah, Michael Wincott's character. You got Tony Todd. They just felt more sinister compared to Martin Sheen, Tamp It Up, John Leguizamo, extremely tamping it up. John Leguizamo, I didn't need him pulling out his shorts and have shit stains in it. Or destroy the world as Christian Slater and lines that he said. It just, Leguizamo is really maybe hoping he'd pull a Jack Nicholson Joker out of his throat. I don't know. Or out of his shit stained underwear. And even the supporting characters, like Ernie Hudson as the cop and yeah, the little girl, they felt more genuine in their performances. While in Spawn, DB Sweeney and going out with the girl used to be with Michael J. White's character. I didn't think the acting was that great, and I thought their character kind of just ho hum in terms of writing, in terms of characteristics, in terms of. I know that's part of the source material, but actually, I think D.B. Sweeney's character was black in the comic, but they made him white in the movie. Now that I think about it, but like, gives a shit about D.B. Sweeney's character. Ernie Hudson was a lot, had a bit more personality to him. Like he thinks it's a mime, and he says something like, "At least he didn't do that going against the wind shit. I hate that shit." Like he's a line like that, I thought that was pretty funny. Like I said, Ernie Hudson felt like he had a bit more personality in The Crow. So yeah, the action scenes are more fist pumping, practical, fuck yeah, with a little bit of martial arts, but a bit more of the Crow attributes. Also, it makes the powers a bit more understandable. This is powers from the Crow. He can't die. If the Crow is hurt or wounded, he becomes more susceptible to pain and possible death. Spawn, I know that's in the comics, but it felt like he had a power come out of his ass all the time. Where, oh, now he can have these chains. Now he can have this cape and float. Now he can fly. Now he can become invisible. Now he can put his cape as a shield. Now he can do this. Now he can do that. I mean, what the fuck else can he do? I didn't feel like I got even a big handle on his powers and how much he could use them, how little he can use them. So I know it's a bit that way in the comics, but I don't think they did a great job fully establishing that in the movie as to his limits, what he can and can't do, aside from maybe a few sentences that feel glossed over. Now, Spawn, to give some positives, I like the look of Spawn. I don't think Michael J. White was bad. Some of the songs, I like the song at the end. Long, long road out of hell, I wanna live, I wanna love. I do like that song, but the soundtrack to The Crow is much more epic. That I had that cassette tape, and I would watch that. I mean, listen to it incessantly. From My Life with the Thrill-Tail Colt, and that scene where he's just shooting everybody. That gets you so hyped. Definitely the pinnacle action scene of that movie. Also, they keep calling me. Or It Can't Rain All the Time, or what was the other song? Time to take a ride, but time to. I'm bad with names, but yeah, The Cure, Stone Temple Pilots, and also the score. The score is very well done to the point that a lot of times other companies would use pieces of the Crow score to put advertisement in their movies. I think the trailer Mortal Kombat had bits of the Crow score in it, and in other movies. The score is very well done. I don't remember a damn thing about the score in Spawn. And let's say some of the sporting characters, like you had the guy who was training Spawn, he had the one sword like out of his. I mean, the actor wasn't the worst. It just kind of a mundane mentor character, and I don't know, you had a guy directing it who was much more of an effects guy, and that's why he honed in mostly on the CGI effects, which don't hold up the best. How do you feel about the director of The Crow, which I feel it was irresponsible? As a director, I mean, he did Dark City, he did iRobot, which I liked. The director has a better track record than the director of Spawn. And again, the director of Spawn is just, I know about special effects, and that's what he honed in on. And even that isn't really factored well into it because the effects don't hold up the best. The effects that hold up the best is when it's practical. The suit to Spawn, the Violator, when you see the practical creature bits of it, but then it goes into CGI. The Spawn motorcycle after the cape has done its transformation and is driving through it. Those practical effects are pretty decent. Other than that, not so much. Like I said, I don't think Spawn's the worst movie ever, but I've never been a big fan. It felt watered down. Even the R-rated version just felt watered down and it felt neutered. Never felt The Crow was neutered. Spawn felt. The Crow knew its identity. I don't think Spawn really knew its identity in terms of a film. Does it want to be this dark, gritty movie where it deals with hell and a guy that gets burned up and killed and he's all scarred up and he can't be with the woman he loves, and you have this tragedy, and then you have these hellish minions, and you read the comic. It's definitely not a comic for kids. But then it wants to be John Leguizamo pulling shit-stained underwear out. That's the thing, like, or farting. And Martin Sheen being... Martin Sheen felt like he belonged in Batman Forever with his performance, and... I can imagine a Batman movie that didn't know if it wanted to be Batman 89 or Batman Forever. So that it doesn't quite work. That's what Spawn is. The Crow had a more of a consistent tone. So The Crow had a better soundtrack and score, consistent tone, wasn't watered down with over-the-top glorified CGI that does not hold up. Michael Jai White was fine, but Brian Lee was a star. His performance, his mannerisms, his look, he was a star. And would have been a big star after that movie. The gloom and doom atmosphere felt appropriate for that film. The feeling when he is at the grave, yeah, that beautiful "It Can't Rain All the Time" song. It gives you a certain feel. Yes, part of that is because rest in peace, Brandon Lee. But it definitely gives you a type of feeling. At the end of Spawn, again, you see this big CGI fight where he's in hell and the background looks awful because it's all CGI, and he does this thing where his chains kill like 1,000 minions. I'm like, wow, is that easy? He just said, fuck it. Like, that's all he had to do? And if you sorry if you like the Spawn movie, folks, but I know Todd McFarlane's like, I'm going to do a Spawn film. He's been saying he's going to do a Spawn film for 10 fucking years. At one point, it's going to be Jamie Foxx. And then, oh, it's going to be a movie, but Spawn's going to be a supporting character. Okay. Yeah, that's great. Go see a Spawn film where there's barely any Spawn. That makes a lot of sense, Todd McFarlane. Yeah, okay. There's not going to be a Spawn film anytime soon. I'm actually surprised they haven't tried it because of how many superhero films get fucking made now, but I mean, they had a Swamp Thing TV show on was HBO on 2019. So I'm surprised they haven't done anything with Spawn. I don't know. I guess Spawn. I wonder if it's just an old hat, as in. I mean, people. I remember Spawn, but I don't know if a lot of people like. Do people know who Spawn is? Maybe that's why. I don't know. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. But yeah, I think The Crow is just a much better movie. We'll see you guys later. The Crow is a much better movie. Did I say Spawn? I meant The Crow is a much better movie. Spawn had potential, but like I said, I think they got a director for CGI effects, not a director that knew about story or characters or tone. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.